Hope all is well. Welcome to That Square Sports Podcast. Today we're talking about the big boys up front, the line, the offensive linemen, baby. The reason why the trenches are the best is because O-line, D-line, they're absolutely phenomenal. To die for. So this is not my top list. Of course, this is their top list on NFL Draft BuzzFeed. Throughout the season, pretty much towards the end of the season and going into the offseason, if you want to follow me, you can. That's what I do. I dive in mock drafts, sleepers, top projected picks, guys you think they're going to go, so on and so forth, mock drafts with trades, all that jazz here. All right, enough of the house cleaning. Let's dive in. Number one they got on the list is Kevin Banks. Out of the University of Texas. If you guys, so size-wise, tackle-wise, he's 6'4". To me, it's all about arms when it comes to tackles. Pretty much can he kick out? Can he, take care of business, one-on-one isolation, stuff like that. He struggled in the Georgia game, but pretty much everywhere else. A&M game, he looked good. Florida game, he looked great. But it is Florida. I'm not going to say excuse me, like it's like a dominant performance against a team that was already bad. But pretty much in short, yeah, Banks really, to me, is not the best tackle in the draft. I think it's Will Campbell. We'll get to him. He's a few guys down. However, I will say this about him. Not a bad pick. I think that he can go easily in the top 15, top 10 maybe, because there's so many needs at tackle right now. The Cowboys need one. Giants need one. Commanders need one. Really, the Texans, my team, we need a replacement. So for the 49ers, they need a replacement. The Rams, just everybody really needs a good tackle in the league right now. A lot of the older guys are aging out. So this class has to be strong in tackles. Same thing with Wyatt out of West Virginia. 6'6", 317. He's got really good frame. I think he has a basketball background too, if I'm not mistaken, which means he's got good feet work. Awesome. Knows how to drop his hips. I love him. I'm in love with the guy. Pause. But like I said, all roads really lead to my boy Will Campbell. Will Campbell is the number one guy, offensive lineman. I think if you're looking for it, stature's there, 6'6", 320 plus. 40 time, not gonna scare you, wow you, does what he needs to do. Loves the ISO, loves to go inside, can take care of the double team. He just anything you need him to do, he does on that offensive line. Now, Joshua Simmons out of Ohio State, he's had a bad last 4 games. And what I mean by that is, bad last 3 games. Well, okay, I'll say it like this. The Oregon game, he struggled, which competition-wise was equally matched. The Michigan game, he struggled. Like I said, I still to this day, I don't really understand how that even took about or account. And then the Penn State game, he struggled, which Penn State has always had good edge rushers. I don't know why James Franklin has not won a chip with those guys. But for me, looking at Josh Simmons, I have a big question mark. When he finally goes against talented edge rushers, and even some interior guys that kick out on the outside every once in a while, can he really hold his own, or does he need help most of the time? And watching the tape, against the Northwesterns, the Ohios, the Ball States, things of that nature, I'm not really too worried about. But what I do see is I need to see more from him, especially in his playoff run that they got. I need to see more from him to build his stock up as an offensive tackle. He's got the height, he's got the size. So, and he's actually pretty much almost fast, just as fast, probably one of the fastest tackles in the draft. I know the speed. You're not going to have him out here doing a halfback dive, but say he gets drafted to the Lions, they love passing the ball to their big boys. Cameron Williams out of the University of Texas. I like him. He got embarrassed in the Georgia game the first time, not the second time. But I like me some Cameron Williams. I think he'll be my number 2 right now if I had to choose. At 335 pounds, that's 330 plus, boy. Boy, that's a lot of man right there moving around, boy. And I tell you, he moved furniture when he in there. And if he moved furniture in them trenches, man. He looked good. No, really not a lot of bad knacks on Cameron Williams. I think he gets after it. Really good at run blocking. Really good at going downhill and just depleting the edge rushers and getting to the second level. He has no problem putting his hands on you. I like him a lot. I like me some Cameron Williams. Next up is Tate Ridlidge out of Georgia. He's center, offensive guard center, so he does a little bit of a mixture of both. I like him. He was actually out for a while in a couple of games, and you kind of noticed that, you notice that when, obviously Georgia was struggling against Kentucky's and the Tennessees for a little bit, then they kind of, obviously did what they need to do adjustment-wise to get where they need to get to. However, since he's been back, that lineman general, which I believe, to me, I believe the center is the most important offensive lineman out of all of them. The one that picks up the blitz, the Jeff Saturdays, and so on and so forth. I really like him, but he kind of gives me Quentin Nelson vibes, his comp. And I'm not mad at that because Quentin Nelson, I think, is probably one of the best guards that we've seen from the 2010s. So I like me some Quentin Nelson. I think that Rutledge is in that same class. I don't think that he's going to be that. I don't think he's going to be bad. I even think at his size, they could kick him out to tackle too. I think he can play the whole line if you let him. Kind of reminds me of the guy that came out of Duke last year. I think his name is Will Barton. Correct me in the comments. I could be wrong on that one. But I love the fact that he can play pretty much. He has the potential to play all positions on the line. He plays that triangle to me, so he can play left guard, right guard, center. I love that about him. John Hona, I'm going to mess this boy's name up, but he is the thumbnail. Salavalina. I don't know, but I know that boy can block. I know he can block, man. It was a game he played. It wasn't against Arizona State. It was against, I think it was UNLV or Fresno State. One of those two games. This dude threw this man into next week. Literally. It was a pass play. I was like, golly. I like him. He's actually probably my number 4 guy out of all this. So it looks like, before I even dive back into Jonah, it looks so to give you to round out their top 10, and I'm gonna go to the 12, I guess, as well. Tyler Booker, good offensive guard out of Alabama. Josh Courtley Jr. out of Oregon. He looks good. He's very versatile, can move, got good hips, really good hips, and especially in the Oregon offense, they're nonstop. So you expect him to be, I'm about to say, his 40 time is 5 flat. So expect him to be a more mobile offensive lineman that could probably transition to guard if you let him at 6'4". Be good on that. Ercy out of Minnesota. He's also another guy that's kind of one of those things where it's like he's a tree. It's just a big ass tree on the outside. He's really good in space. Probably got a wrestling background if I'm not mistaken. So I would love to see what he does and how a lot of teams would go after him and use him in this draft. Dylan Fairchild, it's another boy, another nasty boy, man. He played a little bit of center as well. So I do like, what is going on with the internet here? I do like him too as well. So I like him more so as a guard. I don't really like him more as a center. Obviously, he struggled. It comes with growing pains. If you've been watching Georgia football, their offensive line woes. Their run game has not been as dynamic. They've kind of had, some downfalls here and there. They really miss Amarius Mims a lot on that other side. But, hey, people graduate or they go get drafted, one or the other. And then, of course, Marcus Mobo out of Purdue. Really piss poor offense. Bad team. He's just on great player on a bad team, man. And I think because of that, that's going to hurt his stock. But I think if you get him, you're in for a steal. You're in for a steal because the guy, not only does he have good feet, I don't think he gave up that many sacks, if I'm not mistaken. I think he only gave him maybe like 4, maybe 3 or 4. No, I don't think he gave up any sacks. Now I'm thinking about it. You might have to check me on that one, guys. But I don't think he gave up any sacks at all on that one. So that's something right there that I do like about him as well. So, well, it's got a text. I'm going to have to probably edit that out. But these are the top 12 guys they got drafted here. This going in this order. So what I'm going to do is definitely going to put this on here, but I'm going to put my list together for sure. Next up, obviously, is the D-line, my favorite position in football. Even though I didn't play D-line, I played safety. But my favorite position in football is D-line. Please stay tuned. Like and comment. As always, subscribe. You know the jazz, the whole thing. Yo, holla at me. Peace.